Welcome back to Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Today I'll be reviewing the AbMat HTP hip thrust pad. Stay tuned. Normally I review big, fairly expensive machines, but today I want to review a relatively inexpensive piece of equipment that takes up very little space that anybody can add to their home gym if they have a barbell, Smith machine, or even a dumbbell. But, and this is a big but, is the HTP any better than a rolled up yoga mat? Let's find out. This is a tricky product to review because y'all are going to see me performing hip thrusts way more than I would like, but it's all in the name of equipment reviews. I'll do my best with camera placement, and Paul Carter does this exercise, so that makes it all good. Usually when I review smaller, less expensive items like the AbMat HTP, I like to include other gym products in the review, and I was going to include a review for the AbMat split squat pad in this video. However, I already have a pretty good place to do split squats with the Ironmaster sit-up attachment, as well as with the seat lowered on the Fettle Fitness bench press. The HTP is sold by AbMat, and AbMat is probably best known for their AbMat. Most home gyms and commercial gyms will have at least one AbMat laying around, and AbMat's list of products continue to grow, and people like Dr. Aaron of Squat University says that AbMat creates the highest quality gym products that are second to none. Shipping was super fast. I placed the order on a Sunday night, and the item shipped the very next day. It arrived 4 days later via UPS. The HTP was simply placed inside of a cardboard box without any plastic or additional protective barrier. It's not a huge deal because the package only weighs 4 pounds and it should survive transit just fine. Out of the box, it felt like good quality, and for comparison purposes, it's a bit smaller than a rolled up yoga mat. The canvas is sewn shut, so I cannot show what the padding looks like on the inside, but I'll show some pictures from AbMat's YouTube channel. After selling my Squat Max MD, I lost the ability to perform really comfortable and convenient hip thrusts. When the Henny belt squat belt was attached to the hip thrust pin, there was virtually no discomfort, even when going pretty heavy. Luckily, the IM2000 bar travels vertically and low to the ground, so this is the next best place for me to perform hip thrusts and glute bridges. I am going to rank various items to see if the HTP is any better than simply using a rolled up yoga mat. My rating scale is from 1 to 6, going from uncomfortable to very comfortable, and the Olympic bar or the bar on the Smith machine starts at a 1. Nothing about the bar by itself feels good. I am far more interested in fatiguing my muscles than I am improving how tough I am and waking up with bruised hip bones. It does get pretty painful to perform this exercise as the weight gets heavier and heavier. As a result, not as much weight is able to be used. Next, a squat pad comes in at a 2. It's better than using the bar, but it still doesn't provide a very enjoyable thrusting experience. A rolled up yoga mat comes in at a 3. This is what I used for a number of years, and it works decently well. It still hurts the hips just a little bit, but the bigger issue with this is that it's just big and bulky. Coming in at number 4 is a yoga mat rolled around a squat pad, and this is a pretty good option and it feels pretty comfortable. However, the issue I have here is the squat pad always wants to slip off the bar, and then the other issue is this is a lot of material. It's incredibly bulky, especially compared to the HTP. The AbMat HTP comes in with a score of 5. This is definitely more comfortable and convenient than all of the previous options. It also takes up very little space at 18 inches by 9 inches by 1 3/4 of an inch. The HTP consists of 6 layers. The top layer that comes into contact with the bar reminds me and feels like a thin horse stall mat. The 4 layers in the middle are foam, somewhat similar to a yoga mat, and the center of the 4 pieces of foam have a cutout that cradles the bar very nicely. The bottom layer of foam that comes into contact with my hips is the thickest layer of all. In my own training, I'm only going to perform this exercise on the IM2000. It's pretty easy to get into, especially with the bench at an angle, and I use the frame of the bench to push myself into position. The Squat Max hip thrust comfort level comes in at a score of 6. I could go super heavy without any discomfort. I have to end my comfort scale at 6 because I have not tried a dedicated hip thrust machine like the Nautilus glute drive machine. However, it's probably more comfortable than all of the previous options. I wanted to use the HTP multiple times before this video to see how durable it is, and so far the canvas is holding up well, and the bar's knurling isn't wearing the material. Also, the padding is maintaining its density. I gave the HTP a try with a heavy dumbbell, and it was very comfortable. It also worked well with a single leg hip thrust using a bar in the landmine. And it also works well for floor work while doing landmine twists. The HTP even held up to Mrs. Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. So why even perform the glute bridge or hip thrust exercises? What's the difference? And how do you set each exercise up? First, a lot of this information is courtesy of Paul Carter, who in my opinion is the next Dante Trudell. Both hip thrusts and glute bridges are a great way to train muscles in the posterior chain, and a strong posterior chain is a bigger posterior chain that can assist with other lifts. The glute bridge is more pure glutes with a shorter range of motion, and it can be done on the floor or with a bench. The intent is more of a squeezing into hip extension. The hip thrust can involve more muscles, including the quads, hamstrings, and glutes. While the bridge can be done in a Smith machine, a hip thrust is better done using a bar or a machine designed specifically for hip thrusts. When doing either exercise, the shin should be vertical, feet externally rotated, legs abducted, chin tucked, and keep a neutral spine and brace the abs. Using squat wedges can add more stability to the glute bridge and hip thrust because they provide a more optimal angle to produce force against. I've never done so many glute bridges and hip thrusts in one day. I probably won't be able to sit down for a week because I'll be so sore from these exercises. I also want to show that the canvas on this pad is really holding up well, and it doesn't show any sign of wear from the knurling on the bars. The HTP sells for $49.95, and then I did a Google search and found a 10% off coupon code. There are plenty of good affiliates associated with AbMat who have coupon codes, and of course they can save you some money. These people consistently support me, and I can recommend them to you, including Kyle from Kaizen DIY Gym and PJ from DIY Fitness Club. After taxes and shipping, the total came with the coupon code to $51.95. Today is Halloween, so is this video and this review a trick or a treat? I will tell you it's very different from all of my other reviews, but I did have fun making it, and I guess you'll find value in this video if you like glute bridges and hip thrusts. Could I make my own hip thrust pad? Absolutely. Would it look this good? Probably not. Also, I could continue to use a rolled up yoga mat and get along just fine. However, this is more comfortable and more convenient, and the cutouts in the foam definitely help to secure the bar. Also, AbMat produces made in the USA products, and I always like to support US companies when I can. Sometimes I like to make a home gym purchase that doesn't break the bank, and the HTP fits the bill. Also, this is a review channel, and if this review helped you, please like the video, leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. You can find me on Instagram at Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. I do have affiliate links that can be found in the description of this video. If any of my videos or reviews have helped you, please consider using one of those links. And remember, if your equipment lacks, I got the hacks. Take care, everyone.
Oh my God. It flew out of my mouth. I think we might have to try that again. It flew out of my mouth.